She can say in her voice, in her way, that she love me. With her eyes, with her smile, with her belt, with her hands, with her money. I am the thesis of her prayers. Her nieces and her nephews are just pieces of the layers. Only one she love as much as me is Jesus Christ and Taylor. I got a feature song singing for my grandma. You sing it too, but your grandma ain't my grandma. Mine's handmade, pan-fried, sun-dried, southside, and beat the devil by a landslide. Praying with her hands tied. President of my fan club, Santa. Something told me I should bring my
you gotta move it slowly, taking in my body like it's holy. I've been waiting for you for the whole week. I've been praying for you, you're my Sunday candy.
You gotta move
slowly, taking in my body like it's holy. I've been waiting for you for this whole week. I've been waiting for you, you're my Sunday candy. Come on in this house. It's gonna rain, rain down time. It's gonna rain. You better come on in this house. It's gonna rain, rain down time. It's gonna rain.
It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to the 63rd commencement of Steamboat Mountain School. In these unusual times, we celebrate the class of 2020 with this graduation production, and we appreciate your support of the seniors as you watch and celebrate with them. Class of 2020, today we honor you in the best way that we know how, with a sincere appreciation for who you are as individuals and as a class, with laughter, and yes, probably with tears, so have a box of tissues handy. After all, these past 4 years you have made us laugh, you have made us cry, mostly with joy, and you've inspired a sense of gratitude in us for the connections you have formed and the openness you have had to growing throughout your high school journey. 7 of you came to Steamboat Mountain School as, in the words of Mr. Morse, runny-nosed freshmen. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge these 4-year seniors: Alex Blair, Noelle Cerrone, Emily Craig, Jack Reich, Nika Rachita, Noah Riemenschneider, and Camden Wilkinson. When I look at the pictures of you from your freshman year, I can't help but smile at how little, wide-eyed, and naive you all seemed. As we came to know you during that year, it quickly dawned on us that lurking beneath that innocent exterior was an impish nature and a stubborn resolve that you revealed through the glint in your eyes right before you engaged in some form of mischief. With the addition of Jevin, Nick, and Pete during sophomore year, Paula junior year, and Ava and Natalie this year, you remained true to your identity as a class, but your interactions became more layered. You demonstrated a willingness to look beyond yourselves and value community. And your individual competitive drive was tempered with a desire for everyone to succeed. Along the way you defined your unique style, whether it was your obsession with mullets or brilliantly bleached hair, your seemingly endless supply of Lululemon leggings, or your ability to transition from oversized sweatshirt to fabulous holiday dinner style in the blink of an eye, you unapologetically treated the school as your own personal runway. Many traits define you as a class, but most importantly, you are scholars who have demonstrated perseverance in the classroom. You have developed a true sense of intellectual curiosity that allows you to ask important questions, take academic risks, and explore new avenues of thought. You are competitive athletes who have embraced the determination, drive, and resilience to top the podium and to travel the world in pursuit of your goals. You are global citizens who, even though you were not able to travel to Tanzania this year, have devoted yourselves to embracing another culture and opening yourselves to wonder. And through that process, you have ultimately learned about yourselves. Class of 2020, these present circumstances have reminded us that our community is precious and our connections are meaningful. Although we are unable to gather together in person, our bonds join us and our love for one another is genuine. We hope you enjoy this ceremony and know that we are together in celebrating all of you.
Have you ever experienced paraskevidecatryphobia? Have you ever even heard of this word? Well, If you have, you might know that it is the fear of Friday the 13th. Superstitions, myths, and legends abound about this inauspicious day of Friday the 13th. It's an unlucky day. I, personally, have never been one to believe in superstitions. However, my doubts were thrown to the wind this year. Friday, March 13th, was the last day that we attended an in-person class. It was the last day we were all together as a student body, and it was the last day of our normal high school experience. Even though we didn't know it at the time, it was more unfortunate than we would have ever predicted. COVID-19 threw us a curveball no one saw coming. And although I have a few choice words when I think about my feelings surrounding COVID, words that I may or may not have used in an email erroneously sent to faculty, another good lesson learned in high school about the reply all feature. I have to admit, however, that COVID-19 has allowed us to practice the life lessons we have learned in our years at SMS. Over the course of these last 11 weeks, our resilience has been tested, but we have learned to be strong in the face of difficulty from the very first day we stepped onto campus. Our first few weeks at this school, we climbed a 14er and went on a desert week adventure, all while managing a heavy workload. These opportunities for growth at SMS are designed to build relationships, but they are really just sly ploys to see how we react in challenging situations. It's really just survival of the fittest. Just ask Noelle. She will tell you about when she and another classmate decided it would be a good idea to sleep in a hammock at temperatures below freezing before hiking Grays and Torreys. Talk about character building. 3 weeks following the 14er, we experienced a whole other type of trial. An amazing desert week canoeing through the beautiful canyons of Utah was followed by what we now call the burning bus on the way home, resulting in the ultimate tragedy for a teenager, the destruction of our phones. By definition, perseverance is persistence in a course of action despite the difficulties. When it rained incessantly during our canyoneering adventure, drowning Pete Doerr's laptop. When Nick, Jack, and Nico all faced the disappointments of injuries setting back their goals for ski racing. When Ava, Paula, Natalie, and my GS trip to Tanzania was suddenly canceled. When a human projectile breaks your arm. Don't worry, Jevin, I promise I'm not mad. When summer school loomed for Noah, who spent too much time having fun training with the World Cup team in Bulgaria, Italy. And when our graduation becomes virtual because of social distancing. These are the times we have had to dig deep, put on our game face, and show the world what we are made of. In all seriousness, these challenges the class of 2020 has experienced have enabled us to have the strength to rise in the morning when our future is uncertain and to forge forward with the faith that this too shall pass. These are the lessons in resilience that will undoubtedly make us stronger in the long run. Stay at home has reminded us what is most important in life, our relationships and connections with each other. These connections at SMS have been created in life's simple, everyday interactions. I'm sure no one really thought twice about the value of a quick hi and wave in the hallway during passing time, the 3-minute catch-up with a teacher in the sunroom, or trying to argue with Mrs. Morse that we should get 3 pieces of candy instead of 2 from her candy jar. Although these are the simple things in life, they are also the interactions that have built, layer by layer, the love we have for our teachers and for each other. I never thought that I would miss Nico imitating me saying, "Announcements," during the Penguin huddle, or finding out it's sandwich day for lunch, even though most of us really dread this day. I have missed commiserating with Camden after a pop quiz in English when we really banked on the fact there wouldn't be one. Living vicariously through Natalie's excitement about watching any kind of video whatsoever in GPS class, or getting an encouraging hug from an advisor when you are down. These memories are what I will cherish the most in my future, and I personally hope that the relationships we have cultivated at this school will last a lifetime. While I've known some of you since we were in kindergarten, and I accidentally tied knots in your hair, sorry about that, Alex, and some I've only met just this year, I know one thing about all of us. We know how to persevere, and this is important because we will surely face other hardships in our future. Although I would give an arm and a leg to be with my fellow seniors, Even through suffering a bad case of senioritis, I am grateful for being healthy, being with family, sharing this experience with my classmates, and knowing that I am prepared for a whole other set of ups and downs. Life certainly doesn't always go your way, and sometimes this can break your heart. But I hope the lessons we have learned at SMS are the ones we will take with us into the world beyond. My wish for our class is that our adventures will be boundless, that we will be resilient in the face of our future challenges, and that we hold dear what's most important in life, our friendships, our families, and the connections we've made here at this small school in the mountains of Steamboat Springs. Oh, and yeah, finally, may we have good fortune on our next Friday the 13th.
I remember when our families were first introduced, and you were this little girl with long dark hair and freckles that you got from your mother, and a nose that would scrunch up whenever you'd bless us with that bright smile that you got from your dad. Little did we know at the time of the journey in front of you in becoming the woman you are today. You've had to grow and mature more quickly. You've had to discover a strength that we all have within us, but only shows itself when you are truly tested. You've had to learn what it means to be the rock for your family. All of these lessons and things you will carry with you into the next chapter, for the world keeps turning and your journey continues as you've been inspired to pursue a degree in physical therapy from UVM. So as you look to the next chapter, remember to keep skiing. The love for skiing you share with your family will continue to bring light. Keep smiling, because when you do, you spread joy, and you get to see a little bit of pops with every grin. Continue to be a source of strength for your family, and find the strength and the light for yourself, for it is what your mother truly wants for you. I know Pops is with us and with you as you watch this video, and I would imagine that you, your mother, and your sister feel warmth in your hearts knowing how very proud he is of you. Congratulations. When you pick up your diploma at some point, you will also get this handkerchief as a gift from Ted Morton. Ted has had this handkerchief from your father's celebration of life and wanted you to have it. Alex, thank you for letting us be a part of your journey. And finally, we should all remember and embody, it's all good.
Hello. I'm sorry I'm late, but this is a speech about Natalie, so I thought it would only be appropriate. You see, as most of her friends and teachers and town trip drivers can attest, Natalie has some difficulty getting to things on time. As her teacher, I should probably be more annoyed than I usually am, but when Natalie comes through the door, apologizing profusely for her tardiness, I can't help but feel relieved, because I know that we're going to have a thoughtful and interesting class. Given that Natalie was new to the school this year, I expected her to be a little intimidated upon being thrown into our discussion-based class with several assertive and opinionated voices. Boy, was I wrong. By the first week, it was clear that Natalie not only had a voice of her own that could stand up to any in the class, but she also had the passion and knowledge to back it up. Some of my favorite classes were the ones where I could lean back and watch, as Natalie discussed or debated, sometimes heatedly, but always respectfully, with Peter or Jack or others in the class. Natalie's the kind of student you hope for as a teacher. Intelligent, thoughtful, and most of all passionate. These are the qualities that her professors in college will notice as soon as I did. Natalie, thank you for what you gave to our class and for being who you are. You are goofy with your friends and kind to everyone. You are also honest to a fault. A word of advice for next year. Don't admit to your teachers that you forgot to read when they're handing out a pop quiz. You're probably going to ace it anyway. I have no doubt you will thrive at the University of British Columbia next year, and you will enrich any class you are a part of. Just do your best to be on time.
My My first year at Steamboat Mountain School, there was a quiet girl in my Spanish 2 class named Noelle. She didn't say much, but she smiled a lot. I watched her move through her freshman year, setting down roots here, growing. She laughed loudly at the boys as they broke icicles off the old trailers. She swung her tennis racket with power and grace. She learned how to navigate a harder class load. She came back from India with new understanding. Noelle eventually found her place here, as we all do. Each step she took towards herself revealed a new strength. Confidence, positivity, joy, they all describe her. But above all, Noelle is a rock to this community. She is foundational to the experience of so many students here. Winner of the Friend to All Award as a sophomore, she has reached out across grades, activities, and groups to connect with everyone, void of judgment, full of acceptance. I have seen her provide a listening ear, sound advice, and a smile to anyone in need. You would never know it from her happy manner, but Noelle has experienced her fair share of hardships. In spite of the ups and downs that would throw the average person off course, Noelle manages to remain steady and strong. She has learned how to hold her ground in stormy waters with confidence and ease. Her ability to look beyond difficulty at the greater beauty in this life is astounding to me. Every day, no matter what has happened to her, or me, or the world, I know that I can look to her for a laugh or an uplifting comment. In this way, she has also been a rock for me. Noelle has spent the last 4 years at SMS shaping and being shaped by this environment. It is time for her to go and spread her joy elsewhere. But I am confident that she will always be a cornerstone here.
Maybe someday I'll play the flute as well as Emily Craig. Not many people know what a talented musician she is. I was blown away when I saw her at her last recital. She played a beautiful and difficult piece, and she was amazing and played with such composure. Is anyone else watching the ESPN show about Michael Jordan? Watching it, I was reminded of that Gatorade commercial. Like Mike, if I could be like Mike. Well, I want to be like Emily Craig. I want to snack all day on hip pouches of nut butter. I want to have a pencil pouch filled with the best pens. I want to wear scrunchies and Lululemon. I want to be a born leader, a cross-country runner, a baker, a prefect, a ski racer. I want to help my friends by sharing Quizlets with them. I want teachers to say I bring joy and bright light into the room. I want to win the Head of School Award. Clearly, Emily, you have made an impact on me. As you head to Wake Forest, here are a few other things I'd like you to know. College is going to open up a whole new world for you. March into that new world confident that you are cherished and loved by your teachers, coaches, friends, and family. Know that the world needs you, your grit, your mind, your leadership, and your kindness. And lastly, know that you will be missed dearly. Like Emily, if I could be like Emily.
Calm, kind, and oh so clever, curious, competitive, and the cereal man. That's right, he's the cereal man. He can eat cereal all day long. For his birthday, when asked what goodie he wanted to share with the dorm, he said cereal. Cinnamon Toast Crunch. After ski training, basketball, taking an exam, tutoring a buddy, what does he reach for? You got it. And he would often tutor anyone who needs assistance for free, because he's just that kind of guy. But to be clear, his tutoring is almost free, except for the payment of cereal. Let's talk about being competitive. After all, he's going to play soccer and ski race at the collegiate level when he heads off to Williams College next fall. His family claims that at home he must win at everything, and that it can be infuriating, demoralizing, and often contentious. At school, I personally have always respected Pete for his love of the game, the sport, the team, the learning, the knowing, yet being humble in how he approaches both victory and defeat. So Pete, when playing with your family, what's up? Kindness, this community, and your family see you as a continuous flow of kind, expansive energy and joy, who always brings wit, humor, integrity, and intellect to the table. But I have one piece of advice. When you go off to Williams College to expand your intellect and play collegiate sports, if you're still eating cereal, please throw out the spoiled milk. It just might be your lucky charm. Know you're going to be missed.
Jevin Hovey is a car aficionado. He drives a sweet Toyota 4x4 truck. I recently looked up what a person's car of choice says about them. According to hotcars.com, people who drive Toyotas play it safe, and people who drive 4x4s are aggressive. I thought, does this work? Can Jevin be both things? You know what? Yes! Jevin is the best of both worlds. Peanut butter and jelly, salty caramel, maple bacon donuts, fried chicken and waffles. Okay, you get my drift. Jevin is intense, but also easygoing. He's quiet, but gregarious. He is stalwart and serious, but also a rosy-cheeked teddy bear of kindness. My favorite memory of Jevin shows this dichotomy. It was Desert Week. He was a new sophomore, and we were mountain biking. Jevin was riding a bike that was way too small for him. Think clown on a tiny bike, but in Moab on Porcupine Rim. Watching it was entertaining. Jevin charging down a sick line on that poor tiny bike. We will miss our aggressive and play it safe Jevin. It's been a pleasure watching him grow into the empathetic, kind human he is. Jevin, as you begin your studies at CU Boulder, don't be afraid to be you. You are such an amazing amalgamation of good qualities. But most of all, enjoy riding bikes that fit, and don't be afraid to show your rosy-cheeked teddy bear of kindness.
People who practice Hinduism, Tantric Buddhism, and certain forms of yoga look to the third eye as a guiding center, provider of light and intuition. Whether one believes in the third eye or not, it is undeniable that some people easily tap into their center and spread light outwards. Ava Irving is one of these astounding humans. She constantly reflects inward in order to connect outward with love. Throughout the year, I've been privy to Ava's mindfulness, which regularly manifests in her love of yoga, her self-awareness, and her calming presence. One night in the dorm, each of the girls were sharing how they deal with stress. When Ava's turn came, she described a form of meditation that she practices, in which she pictures colored light coming up from the ground and slowly spreading through her body, providing warmth and calm. I remember she had this peaceful little smile on her face, and the other girls were enraptured by her. It was as though her inner intentionality was radiating out, and it drew the people in the room to her. As the year progressed, Ava's magnetism only seemed to increase. She became the girl everyone wanted to know. And the beautiful thing was, she also wanted to know everyone. As Ava came to see herself, she realized that she could and should connect to others, know them deeply, challenge them, and also care for them. In the dorm, she leaned on the shoulders of the other girls and provided a shoulder to lean on. She was the perfect balance of courageous vulnerability and steady strength. I learned so much from her, more than she realizes, in these quiet moments, these tiny yet momentous dorm chats. I feel lucky to have had Ava's courageous and colorful spirit grace our school, even if only for a year. I know that she will continue to spread her light to everyone she meets at the University of Colorado and in the big, wide world beyond college.
Jack, you are a superhero. You are a lot like Groot, the tree-like humanoid who celebrates life. And to me, a superhero just can't get any better than that. In the movie Guardians of the Galaxy, the rest of the Guardians see Groot's ability to fight for what is good as the force that keeps everything together, while carrying on with all his might. If you know Jack well, this is his character. His family describes him as genuine, strong, resourceful, kind, and dedicated. Jack often speaks of his family, including grandparents and little cousins, and often shares photos of them. For a superhero, he's a pretty genteel fellow. As a high-level skier, Jack's friends state that his unstoppable energy and his spirited enthusiasm make him a fierce yet supportive competitor who can always lighten things up with his sharp wit and giggly sense of humor. Jack is a giving and helpful character who can be extremely selfless and driven to seek the greater good. He's a 4-year senior who has left his mark on our community, the Winter Sports Club, the guys in the dorm, and the other guardians. You are a complete arborous soul. You are happy, and your enlightened kinship truly spreads the love and joins people together. You understand the breadth of family and the importance of friendship. You help us all understand the joys of being accepted and loved. And I say to you, we are Groot. We are guided together by you as guardians of the galaxy to share the knowledge of the power of love. Thank you for being our superhero. Now I'm geez happy. I was doing so good.
It's morning on Steamboat Mountain School campus. A light fog sits in the valley and there's a nip in the air. There in the distance, you can hear it coming, a low growl, approaching with volume louder and louder. And then the bright red Porsche slowly turns into the parking lot. A couple revs of the engine to clean out the carburetor, and with the flip of a switch, silence the Falls campus again. Out of the car, 2 Gatorade purple-colored high-top Nikes firmly hit the pavement. Then with a swoop of the head, Nico shakes the hair out of his face, whips off his Pit Viper sunglasses, and strides through the parking lot. The debonair style of this guy is not only in his car, his shoes, or the Pit Vipers. He's a scientist, curious about how things work and what can be. Skiing fast is more than just training on the hill. It's the topic of his physics paper. It's the nutrition behind putting 5 to 10 pounds of muscle. It's learning that LaCroix should not be your sole source of hydration. He has studied the precision of cooking the perfect steak with a sous vide. He's refined the art of writing an email as an understudy to his father. He's attained unmatched skills with organization under the tutelage of his mother. Nico Rachita, we've learned over the last 4 years that the scope of your being does not end with your intellect, but also extends into matters of the heart. As a quiet leader, your compassion emanates in the care you show for those around you in your words and your actions. So as you move into the next level, as more than an athlete, but also a mentor, I know you will guide with compassion and curiosity, participate with vigor and purpose, and you will lead with gratitude and grace. Congratulations, Nico.
My speech is entitled The Secret Life of Noah Reimerschneider. As many of you already know, I have the somewhat embarrassing nickname of the Cracker, because I genuinely love cracking open the outer shells of people and getting to know who they really are. So here came Noah in my geometry class last year, so quiet and reserved, and I thought, aha, I am going to crack this kid open. My number 1, tried and tested, generally infallible cracking method is to present the target with baked goods. So I made all kinds of treats for my class, but Noah wouldn't really go for any. Not much of a sweet tooth, he said, or gotta eat healthy, blah, blah, blah. Oh crap, I thought, I'm really in trouble with this one. Then one time, a few of the skiers were going for a long camp, so I made each of them a batch of cookies to take on the trip. I made one for Noah as a last-ditch effort. And lo and behold, I received a text message later that day from Noah saying, "These are some of the best cookies I've ever eaten, and I ate the whole batch in one sitting." I'm pretty sure I actually raised my hands in triumph and shouted victory when I read that text. You may be thinking I'm a little bit of a crazy person and that my reward for this cracking scheme is to finally force Noah to eat more sugary treats. But that's not the case at all. The reward was getting to know Noah, and what a distinct pleasure that has been over the last few years. The crack in the shell allowed me to see someone that's passionate, stoic, honest, determined, steady, and secretly hilarious. However, of all the qualities Noah has shown, The one that stands out the most to me is perseverance. It has been truly awe-inspiring. I'm proud of Noah for all he's accomplished, but mostly I'm proud of who he is. And I'm incredibly honored to say that even though it may have taken a little bit of time, I've had the privilege of cracking the shell and getting to know the secret life of Noah Reimenschneider.
If someone asked Paula what she got out of her experience at SMS, I bet I know what she would say. Muscles. One might not realize it at first glance, but Paula has been making all kinds of gains. I'll never forget her first time on skis, when her legs looked like that of a baby deer. Now, Paula zooms down the hill with confidence and delight. FYI, Paula is really brave. Or when her biceps couldn't properly paddle a canoe, causing it to flip. Later that year, she used those same swole arms to pull down a fire alarm with legendary confidence and force. If you know, you know. However, Paula's mental and emotional muscles have shown even more growth than her physical ones. For example, she is now bilingual. She received the Academic Dean Award this year, and she went from being the new girl to being a prefect. I could go on and on about these achievements, but they are all external. Paula's true growth is internal. When Paula first arrived at this school, she had no idea what she was getting herself into. She had never camped, biked, skied, spoken English 24/7, or lived with a group of strangers. At first, she seemed a little overwhelmed, and rightfully so. She could have shied away from these experiences, but she didn't. She embraced everything. And then she showed the people around her how to embrace everything. Paula's secret? Saying yes. Paula said yes to any and every roommate I threw at her. She said yes to strapping 2 sticks on her feet and flying down a mountain. She said yes to mountain biking when she was terrified. She said yes to coming to a new country and culture without any idea what she was getting herself into. She said yes to SMS, and she is stronger, arguably one of the strongest for it. I cannot wait to see what else Paula says yes to in her life as she continues to flex those muscles.
Nick Ankovskoy is a multifaceted individual, both in his talents and character. He is a fighter, but not in the typical sense of the word. If you've ever had to argue with him, you would learn quickly that he possesses some serious determination. He isn't afraid to dig in when he feels strongly, and he won't give up easily. His mental stamina translates exceptionally well to his athletic pursuits, and his ski coaches have said his commitment throughout the past several seasons has served as a model for his teammates. Additionally, Nick is sensitive and thoughtful, and learning the value of sharing that vulnerability with others. With a distinct giggle that is sure to make you laugh along with him, he is a masterful humorist. He weaves humor into our daily interactions, and we are grateful for him bringing this essential laughter into our lives. Ultimately, Nick is a true friend and loving son. His connection to and love for his friends and family is strong. Nick, we thank you for all the giggles, your wit, and grit. We are all excited to see what you accomplish in your future endeavors.
Hi, welcome to Entertainment Tonight, and this is Brian Smith, your host. ABC's Grey's Anatomy, the hit TV medical drama, will be adding a new main character this season. The new character, Dr. Wilkinson, an orthopedic surgeon, will be based on Camden Wilkinson, a recent graduate of the Steamboat Mountain School. With Dr. McSteamy, Dr. McDreamy, and Dr. McHottie already taken by many of the male leads of the show, writers were left with only one and a most appropriate nickname, Dr. McSmirky. Educated and trained at West Point Military Academy, Dr. McSmirky is the model of efficiency and effectiveness. As many of the main characters of the show typically ramble on, processing their feelings with sometimes pointless verbiage, Dr. McSmirky's brevity and very concise language is guaranteed to lure the audience into the likability of the character. It has been rumored that in a later season, or in a later episode, Dr. Wilkinson, no stranger to flying without a parachute, will jump out of an airplane to perform a mid-air emergency ACL replacement, then use the patient's parachute to get the good doctor and the patient to the ground safely. While the high-flying adventures will be a welcomed addition to the show, audiences will be inspired by our characters' confidence and intellect that seem almost effortless. Confidence and courage built from a life full of and a love for adventure and travel, and an intellect developed and sharpened by the guidance and wisdom of his parents and family. So the man, the myth, the legend, the real-life Camden Wilkinson. First, I want to thank you for offering your service to our country. Second, take a moment to recognize and be proud of all the truly amazing things you've achieved and experienced in your 18 years on this earth. And finally, we know, and more importantly, you know, that not even the sky will limit you.
I, on behalf of the senior class of 2020, am pleased to present our gift to our Steamboat Mountain School community, a disc golf course. We hope that it brings students, faculty, and the Penguin family together outside on our beautiful campus for many years to come. Thank you. 4.
Ah! Hey!
Class of 2020. Hodding Carter once said, "There are two great things that we can give to our children. One is roots, the other is wings." Know that your roots will always be firmly planted here at Steamboat Mountain School. Your roots are strong, and they connect you to one another and to the past, present, and future of the school. These roots will continue to nourish you, ground you, and help you weather storms and even pandemics. At the same time, the wings that you have strengthened here will allow you to soar as you seek new challenges and find new adventures in the years ahead. I've often said that being an educator is a yearly lesson in the process of letting go. Even though we want to hold tight, we are comforted by the knowledge that by letting you go, we are allowing a new journey to begin, and we have the confidence that your travels will bring you back here. Spread your wings, embrace your future, rise to the occasion, and come home to share your song. Class of 2020, you made it. Congratulations.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Hey, every day can be a better day despite the challenge. All you gotta do is leave it better than you found it. It's gonna get difficult to stand, but hold your balance. I just say whatever, cause there is no way you're around it. Everyone falls down sometime, but you just gotta know it'll all be fine. It's okay. It's okay, it's okay. Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Hey, some days you wake up and nothing works, you feel surrounded. Gotta give your feet some gravity to get you grounded. Keep good things inside your ears just like the waves and sound it. And just say whatever, cause there is no way you're around it. Everyone falls down sometime, but you just gotta know it'll all be fine. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in took a walk around the neighborhood.